I'm having trouble coming up with the words to describe my Raw viewing experience this week. The words are escaping me right now. It's kind of like I'm almost having a brain fag, if you will.
It's almost easier to pick words that didn't represent the 3 hours we spent watching Raw this evening.
Like exciting.
Entertaining.
Fun.
Awesome.
Worthwhile.
Interesting.
Must watch.
I'm just so flabbergasted right now.
We told Metal D to take his positivity and go somewhere else with it.
He positively could not sit through this Raw.
For those of you that are old school, and we emphasize again, old school OTRS fans, and you miss our whining, bitching Raw reviews, well, guess what? You're in for a treat! Because it's back this week. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Grow your own Raging Ring Boner with the WWE app. Okay, Triple T has something that he needs to point out. Put a disclaimer on this review right now because we need to address this shit. Go.
Because John Cena was not there tonight on TV at all does not mean that the show was going to be bad. It was bad with him there. It was bad without him there. It was going to be bad from the get-go.
It's like comparing diarrhea to vomiting. Either way, it's bad.
It's coming out of one end.
Yeah, it's just a matter maybe of which way you prefer it coming out. Speaking of ways of it coming out, down your throat, up your ass, whatever. The way the show kicked off, who decided to get Ryback and put him in a fucking ambulance and have him get on top of the ambulance and talk?
Who decided they needed an awesome vest that said Ryback rules?
Who came up with a dumbass pay-per-view called Payback and let alone have a match with Cena and Ryback in an ambulance match?
Who's the one that ever turned Ryback heel to begin with? Who's the one that decided it was a good idea to give him a mic? Who's the one that decided it was a good idea to give Ryback a mic on top of an ambulance the night after Extreme Rules to open up your fucking Raw? Who? Oh, and it got better, didn't it? Because you got later on in the night, you've got Zack Ryder, you've got Cody Rhodes. And what was this for Cody Rhodes?
It was a major win.
Maybe a signature victory at that. It had to be impressive.
This will go down in the history books as one of the turning points of Cody Rhodes' career.
Oh, you're damn right it has to. So, of course, then Ryback comes bebopping his ass on down the ramp because beating the shit out of a disposed Zack Ryder is so impressive. I'm going to throw him in an ambulance.
Everybody's been doing that these last few weeks.
Speaking of ambulances, you had a point about the ambulance itself.
Yeah, so are we just to assume that there was a phantom, driver in there the entire time that never got out or anything?
Bravo's ghost.
Bang, bang.
I guess if you're a friend of Cena, you are in trouble. You are going to be beat up for whatever fuck reason.
Next up, Rey Mysterio.
All of these guys have it coming. Ryback's on a tear. But, there is one person that is safe from this reign of terror from Ryback, and it's our friend, Alex Riley. You, my friend, are safe. Find a woman's clitoris with the WWE app.
Now, we knew Raw was going to be a flying success of a show. If it wasn't for that Ryback promo at the beginning, the first match of the night, Miz, Jericho, Barrett, Fandango. From the very beginning.
Wade Barrett's got a new theme song.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck is that song?
I don't know.
That was terrible.
They can't figure one fucking thing out with that guy. Is he wearing a fucking coat? Is he carrying a rose? Is he having a belt? Is he not? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy?
Is he leading a group? Isn't he leading a group? Nobody knows.
And then you've got halfway through, you've got Fandango just cuts out. Leaving your IC champ to get his ass kicked to get tap out to the figure four of the Miz, dancing with Summer Rae.
Well, why not? I mean, I would try and get out of that match, too.
Yeah, but if I'm going to do something with Summer Rae that doesn't involve wrestling, I would probably be thinking about, penal, vaginal contact.
Wrong color for you, buddy.
If she's easy, it's breezy lemon squeezy. Let's put it that way. However, Fandango decides he's going to cut tail and run, leave Summer Rae.
I'm going to put Summer Rae in front and hightail it over the fence. But there was a problem with him leaving. He had a little spill into a fan. It just looked bad on camera.
Speaking of things that look bad, Jericho with this whole little sensual thing he had going on with Summer Rae.
It raises eyebrows.
Apparently, he only has one eyebrow, and he also has a boner. Really bad one.
And a concave chest now.
You don't have to rub your shit raw to internet porn anymore. Just download the WWE app. So let me get this straight, Mike. You appear on a pay-per-view post-show.
Yeah, then you get to be on the following Raw. And you can start a feud on the post-show, and then they'll feature it.
And then you'll end up getting squashed that next night, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, okay. So Sheamus and Titus O'Neil. This was, in theory, this was a pretty big spot for a Titus O'Neil. You know, they were actually, like you said, they put a whole 24 hours almost into building this match up. And, you know, they let Titus get some stuff in, actually. I know you don't like Sheamus, so go ahead, shit on him.
It was an all-Irish match with Sheamus and O'Neil. And oh my god, Jerry the King Lawler's middle name is O'Neil. Yeah, right. Fuck off. Sheamus is boring. At least I can say that this match was anything. It was not Sheamus Big Show. It was not Sheamus Orton. It was just something new. But Titus O'Neil, you had to go and screw it up.
He just had to pull an Abe Washington.
Fuck!
Third gunman on the grassy knoll? Find out on the WWE app.
Not it.
Damn it. Biggie Langston, who I don't give a shit about, versus Alberto Del Rio, who I really don't give a shit about. So this match was one that I really didn't give a shit about. So last night, Del Rio got the shit beat out of him with a ton of weapons, and he still wins. Tonight, all it took was Biggie Langston getting him distracted with a bucket, and then poking him in the eye, and then doing his finisher where he lands on his own arm, and he beats your number one contender. Bravo, WWE!
But yet, Ziggler will come back and he'll lose to Alberto Del Rio on the TV match.
Oh, and FYI, Dolph Ziggler is not watching Raw from home. When you're off work, you don't watch work. You fucking do other stuff. You have a life.
Like CM Punk was watching the fucking Blackhawks game tonight, and based off of this Raw, who the fuck could blame him? You don't have to be a suicide bomber to have 72 virgins waiting for you in heaven. Just download the WWE app. Of course, it just wouldn't feel like a 3-hour Raw if we didn't sandwich in a crappy Divas match.
But the real focus wasn't on the Divas match. It was on the commentators.
Because they didn't give a shit either.
I think this is about the time they just phoned it in on this show.
I mean, you had JBL and Jerry the King Lawler talking about single white female, some movie made in the early 90s.
Talking about the Rogaine and the fact that they needed to cover their gray.
Newsflash, assholes. It's something that grows hair, doesn't color your hair.
Just for Men, your sponsor. Check in with them.
Oh, and another dumb thing. Oh, who was it? Was AJ beat fucking Layla? Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares about
How
that.
sad is that? And you're looking at it. Layla's sexy. Why would you not put her on TV every week and do something with her? AJ, she's supposed to be that girl next door nerd. So, of course, they made her a psycho slut heel. Because that's what intelligent writing is. Why is it, though, that Caitlyn and Natalya are making fun of Cody Rhodes for posting pictures of himself on the internet in places like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, etc.?
You couldn't find any pictures of Natalya posing with divas in an airport. You couldn't find post-op pictures of Caitlyn in a thong. Yeah.
Fellas, looking for a boyfriend? Just download the WWE app. One thing that we pretty much have nothing negative to say about it at all, so we won't say a whole lot about it at all, because it just doesn't fit with this show. Outstanding six-man tag, The Shield versus Hell No and Kofi Kingston. This was clearly the highlight of the night, no question.
Yeah, it was a great match. You get to see, all the new champions in the Shield come out, take on the guys they fought last night, and a really well-executed match.
I wish this would have been the whole 3 hours of Raw.
I wish they would do something to feature the Shield a little bit more at this point. Not to the point where they maybe water them down, but to the point of they're one of those few things that doesn't totally suck on the show. So at this point in time, maybe it would be nice if they actually had a legit foil or had like a group of people they could go through over a period of time.
Right, give me something different. Yeah, I gave you a pass this week with the rematch, but come on. Let's get new tag teams in there to kind of, beef them up a little bit.
Let's get Ambrose a really meaningful U.S. title feud. But this match, beyond question, the highlight of our night. If we got one match like this on every Raw, boy, it would make that 3 hours a lot more easier to digest.
A little more bearable.
Catch the Pauly Show Movie Marathon only on the WWE app.
Here's when you know a company is out of touch and has completely lost its ever-loving mind and has clearly gotten away from a good business model. When less than 5% of your audience cares about something that you're pushing every week over a period of 3 hours, you have a problem. You have about 4 million people on average, give or take a little bit, estimating here, that watch Raw every week. Yet for this match, who's going to face Jack Swagger? You have 150,000 people voting. That's less than 5%.
And like you didn't stack the odds anyway by putting Khali, R-Truth, and Orton in there. I mean, who are they going to vote for?
So you've got about 3.5%, 4% of your audience fucking picking a match that everybody else is going to have to watch. And you're not even giving those 3.5% or 4% of your audience that give a shit something legitimate to watch.
Interesting enough, though, Great Khali got more votes than R-Truth.
Yeah, he had twice as many votes. Not good. Not good for Mr. Killings, was it?
I would have voted for Khali if I gave a shit.
And you have the app.
I do.
Was this match any good?
No, it was boring, and the crowd showed it. They didn't care. This match was dumb.
What about fucking Swagger? He couldn't even remember how to apply his own finisher.
Oh, which leg is hurt? Randy Orton. I can't do this. No, I can't do. Oh, it's this leg that was hurt. That's right.
I can't believe I actually saw a few people's posts that this was any fucking good. This was terrible.
And JBL even pointed out, oh, that was the leg that was hurt before.
The sad part is, it wasn't Orton this time. All about swags.
If you don't have the WWE app, fuck you.
Now I have to confess, it was a guilty pleasure of mine, Tony. To a lesser degree, Mike, you too. When I heard the internet bugaboos were talking about who was going to be the third client of Paul Heyman, I was secretly hoping it was going to be.
And then you realize that this wasn't TNA.
And that nobody's given a shit about him in years.
That is something we can all agree on. And you should too. But this was a big surprise.
Yeah, it came out of left field. I was pleasantly surprised to see Michael McGillicuddy. I mean,
Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel. You give him so many names nowadays, you can't remember them.
At least now they're paying homage to his lineage, at least.
He'll do that, after his dad and after his grandpa, remixing his dad's theme song, aligning him with Paul Heyman. This is a big spot. Kudos to him. I mean, this is...
You do a lot of work for the WWE, train with The Rock for his WrestleMania matches. You do a solid for them. They'll take care of you.
But great for him, but frankly, nobody gives a shit.
Not yet.
Because, this show is really ultimately only about one thing. You're debuting a new young guy that we know God himself is reported to actually like very much. So he decides the best way to help get this young guy over, this new talent that you're trying to repackage and make something big out of him because you aligned it with Paul Heyman, is to go out there, interrupt his debut segment, bitch slap him, have him sit on the ground and look up at you, and then wrestle him in a match where after a couple of minutes...
You okay?
After a couple of minutes,
You get the point.
Triple Epsy?
Might be. He might have had a brain fag. I don't know, but he gets... The show ends with Triple H just falling to the ground. What are we to believe? What are we to insinuate? The match doesn't have an end. No real closure.
Doesn't really help out Curtis. At all.
At all. I mean, what are we have to stay tuned until next week. Boy, I can't wait till then.
More drizzling shit like this one.
I guess so. Have fun, everybody. I don't care.